Hello YouTube, this is another Men of War video by me, TychoCelchuuu, and yeah, it's a 2v2. Me and Lollybo were playing as the Russians, we're up against the Germans. I can't remember their name, and I don't think I will remember their name until I see them pop up. They were on the loading screen if you want to rewind the video. You don't want to rewind the video, there's nothing interesting there. I bought a submachine gun infantry squad right off the bat. This is one of these new maps, I've never played it before. If you don't know, they released a Men of War patch fairly recently, put in a bunch of new maps and not much else. You know, I'll take what I can get. I like new maps. This one, not an awful map. I've only played it once, but it's kind of fun. There's a big old bridge. This part of the map is extremely boring, but the enemy's side of the map actually has a couple towns and there's some woods and stuff, so as long as we don't get beaten back to our side of the map, this will hopefully be an exciting matchup. If we do, it'll be really boring, because look, this is just like a flat road with like concrete pipes going through it. I don't even. So that light vehicle that looks a bit like a shoe is my ally's light vehicle that he's moved up. He's also assaulting the middle with infantry. I see that he's pretty much got it under control, so I'm focusing on spreading out on my submachine gunner infantry. You saw I had them take up positions kind of on our side defensively, but I'm realizing that was probably too far back, so I'm slowly moving forward. Our opponents have taken their point in the far distance, and my ally is throwing smoke grenades all over, so he has some cover while he captures the point. I'm capturing the point too. I send someone over to help because I'm not selfish. I will help out. I also bought this AT gun quite a while ago, so I'm trying to figure out where's the best place to put it. I see this hill, and the hill is a nice place to stick an AT gun. You might have seen I moved him into a bush. Always nice to stay to bushes whenever you get a chance. I'm not sure how fantastically well they work against a field gun like an AT gun, but I think they conceal you. At the very least, they might reduce the radius, the distance at which the enemy can see. In any case, here's an enemy light vehicle. This matchup will probably go in our favor. That thing's just got machine guns on top, I believe, or it might have a cannon. Hopefully it'll come out of the fog of war and we'll see. Either way, usually, oh yeah, it's got a cannon. No, MG34. Okay, so basically, we'll win the fight. It could, maybe do a bit of damage to my ally's light vehicle, but probably not. My ally's firing at it. That's the third time it missed, so I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to put the sound for this video in. It's got Lollybo's voice going, but Lollybo is raging right now, and I was raging too, but you won't be able to hear my voice, assuming I put the sound in, because I was recording ventrilo, but whatever, long story. That was like, what says, the 6th time or the 7th time the shell miss? 8th? Maybe now. It's just ridiculous. I don't know what the Russian gunner was doing there, but he was clearly drunk on vodka. I don't care if it's a stereotype, that guy was drunk. Typically what you'll see in light vehicle matchups is one of two things at the beginning of the game. Either one guy bought a vehicle with a cannon and the other with a machine gun, which is what happened here, so the vehicle with a cannon pretty much wins, or both people bought a vehicle with a cannon, and so it's pretty much like a Wild West quick draw. Whoever gets the first shot that hits wins. And those can be incredibly tense, so you gotta be careful with your light vehicles. You can drive them all over like a crazy man at the very beginning of the game, but that's very risky if your opponent's bought a light vehicle. The advantage is that you'll catch them if they're with their pants down if they bought infantry like I do. If you ever see me in a game buy a light vehicle first off the bat and attack me with it, you're going to fuck me up the ass, okay? I just buy infantry. I can't do anything. Unless, of course, I have an ally who will often buy a light vehicle for me. But yeah, I would be cautious with your first light vehicle. I don't want to lose those things. I mean, come on. I'm okay losing an infantryman or two, or even a squad, because at least infantry will cap points, but a light vehicle, I don't want that thing dying. So this Pak-35 has shot through my ally's BA-11, which looks like a shoe. I keep saying that, don't I? Now it's dead, but he did manage to take out the Pak-35. And he also bought a ZSU, and finally that stupid SDKZ211, whatever that heck it is, he finally killed it. So things are looking pretty nice for us. Our opponents really haven't probed with a lot of infantry in the front. They were trying to establish their foothold with that AT gun and their light vehicle, but just not aggressive enough in the beginning. Maybe they would have been better served with a more all-out assault, or with being better at the game. But in any case, it's the end of that vehicle that looks like a shoe. It was knocked out, and then they decided to kill it. I'm not really sure what the point was. It would have taken us forever to repair it anyways, but he just wanted to be safe. And apparently I saw something. I was not looking a moment ago, but I marked something in the fog of war, so hopefully you saw that. And I'm repositioning my AT gun. The thing is, if you tell the AT gun you hit R is the rotate button. I guess reposition works also, but it's the rotate button. That's the much better way to rotate your AT gun. I used to click and drag many months ago, but then someone said, hey, you can use R to reposition that, and I was like, oh, that is a lot easier, because clicking and dragging, they have to do a whole bunch of crazy moving stuff, whereas if you just hit R, they will simply turn the AT gun. But the problem is, if you tell them to turn to anywhere that is within their radius of fire, they won't turn. Like, if it's within their cone of fire, they won't turn. So even if you want the AT gun facing, like, way to the left, if you hit R and click to the left, just within the cone of fire, he's going to say, oh, I can hit that. So you'll have to click, like, sort of outside the cone of fire and blah, blah, blah. Right now I'm putting that red arrow there because I'm trying to signal to my ally that if he can lure that Panzer IV slightly forward, my AT gun will be able to hit it. I'm just outside range right now. If you saw the direct control thing, the numbers in red. I want to knock that Panzer IV out, and the ZIS-2 is a really strong AT gun, typically able to penetrate the Panzer IV, if not immediately, then after a couple shots, and if not from the front, then definitely from the side, where it's got side skirts, but side skirts are not super useful against AT guns. What they're really useful against is like high explosive anti-tank shells, like things fired from a rocket launcher or something. Side skirts are really good against that, but against the armor-piercing shells that an AT gun fires, they're not going to do a huge amount. And especially the problem is the side skirts are straight up and down, so that's a very bad angle for deflection. Nothing is going to deflect off a straight up and down piece of armor if it hits it full on 90 degrees. So that's the shot I wanted with my AT gun, but the Panzer IV is refusing to oblige, and in fact it's pretty much just killing everyone in the middle, so they're probably going to take that. Meanwhile, I bought this assault infantry squad long ago, sent it to the right long ago, and now I'm launching a flanking maneuver on the opponent's town. I'm expecting heavy resistance or no resistance, basically, or maybe token resistance, because typically you'll be playing against people who are either defending, or they don't know what the heck is up and they're not defending, or they don't think you're going to attack. But of course, once you try something sneaky like that, they might start defending again. But I do split off a couple of my assault infantrymen because I see a fantastic opportunity to maybe do some damage. I want this AT gun to die because it's giving Lollybo, my ally, quite a bit of trouble. But meanwhile, I stick my people in trenches, and now I'm telling them to move in through the town. I want to take my time, be cautious, don't just rush in. But assault infantry are badass motherfuckers, so I'm not super worried about them. Even if they're spotted, I figure they can handle what's coming to them because they got some cover. So now I'm deciding to toss a grenade. You see, I go into direct control and I cook it. I hold down the grenade for quite a while, but not too long because I'm chucking it for a fair distance, and that kills the people. Unfortunately, does not take out the AT gun. The grenade's not that powerful. Now my guy just starts shooting people with his gun, so he's pretty awesome. But I get him out of there because the tank had noticed him. But he gets out alive. That doesn't happen very often with my men. Usually keeping them alive is not one of my objectives. So the awesome thing about Russian assault infantry is that they come with a flamethrower. Most of my men just died right there. In fact, all of my men just died, except for Mr. Flamethrower, who has done a really wonderful job. Set a lot of people on fire, set that car on fire. At this point, I was trying to set even more stuff on fire, but it didn't work. But I'm happy I set that car on fire because they exploded and contused the crew of that light vehicle. Yes, contusion, not confusion. I used to think it was confusion because the T looks a lot like an F, but no, it's crew contused if you look very closely. Contusion basically for these purposes means confused. And right now I'm trying to drag the reload button over to my hotbar because it went away when I patched the game, but I can't remember the way to do it. I think you hold down shift, but apparently you don't because that's what I was trying and I wasn't doing it. So our opponents have taken the middle. They have 87 points right now versus our 298. Once someone reaches 1200, or once the game counts down to 21 minutes 45 seconds from now, it'll be over and whoever has the most points wins. And they have certainly set up a shop in the middle. They've got their sandbags and stuff, and really it's the Panzer IV doing all the work. And once again, I'm getting in my AT gun and being like, oh, can I hit him? No, it's just out of range. And I'm getting pretty frustrated. And I decide, he's like, look at him, just out of range, 140, and I think 125 is something like the max range on this AT gun, 125, 130, and I'm just waiting for him to move up. I just want that Panzer IV to move up so I can do some damage. But to no avail. Happily, that assault infantry flank didn't work out too badly, so this time I buy some submachine gun infantry and some more submachine gun infantry. So this time I want to hit him from both sides and overwhelm him with infantry firepower, because assault infantry are awesome, but for the same price you can get like a couple squads of submachine gunners. So that's what I'm going for this time, and now I'm aiming at his light vehicle, and it's just out of range of my AT gun again, 133. I think the max range is 125, like I said. So AT gun positioning, maybe not my best option, although my ally also bought a ZIS-2 and just knocked out that thing. So look, that building is still burning. That is the power of the flamethrower. If my opponent wanted to set anybody up in there to defend that point, that is totally not happening.